Hey everybody, Jason Fleeman here with Jason Fleeman Properties. I'm here with Chris Fabino with E3 Storage and Marietta. And you're probably wondering, what is E3 Storage? Well, it is a place that you can store any car you've got, but we're gonna go look at some really cool cars. But Chris, tell us a little bit about why you decided to start E3 Storage, what kind of cars you have in here, and just kind of go with that and tell us what you think.
Yeah, sure. Matt and I got together and said, hey, we saw a need for the car community, and this is a great location, great space, everything you might need to be able to do anything from a car wash to a full-on brake job.
And the great thing is you can store your car here. So we're going to see some amazing cars. You can also bring your car in here and work on it 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning. So it's not like Chris and Matt have to be here or somebody's got to be here. It really is kind of almost like a gym for your car.
It sure is. We have a 1931 Model A all the way up to 2023 Range Rover. So every car fits the bill.
Right. And it's also a workspace. So we're going to go check out where you can come in, work on your computer, watch some stuff, watch some video. It looks like you can see some like old movies of some car race and stuff like that. So, I mean, I'm really looking forward to checking this thing out.
Definitely. Well, come on in.
So we normally open doors for you guys for an enriched lifestyle. This is one of them. We're going to open some car doors today. So let's check it out.
Yeah, come on in.
All right. So when we first come into the E3 Storage in Marietta, you've got a lounge area right here to our left, your right. It's got like a pretty much fully functional kitchen. There is some beverages and the beer. We're not going to exactly tell them what beverages are in there, but a great lounge area right here. It also goes into a workspace area right here. So you can come in here and do some work. And then over on this side, like I said earlier, you can actually watch some old footage of some phenomenal races back in the, what would you say, 1950s, 1960s? Yeah, so this is actually a great setup for guys to come in and just hang out when they're not out working on their cars. So what was the mindset around doing this area?
Just make it relaxing. If you want to come in from coming out from working on your car, you need a break, you need to do some work, pop over here, relax, have a drink, and then pop back out to your cars and get work done.
That's all. So what's kind of the busiest time? Like you on the weekends, later in the afternoon, or just whenever?
You can't call it. It's 24/7 access. You can reserve space, so when you need to lift or if you need the WeWork space, it's reserved for you.
That's awesome. I could even come in here and work at 2 o'clock in the morning. Even if I don't want to work on my car, I could come in here and work on some stuff. That's awesome. That's amazing. So hey, let's go check out the garage. All right, so the first part of the garage that we're going to check out is one of the lifts right here. So you can bring your car, if you're a member at E3 Marietta Storage, you can bring in your car and you get access to the lift, work on your car, under your car, all that kind of stuff. So over on this side, we've got some BMWs being worked on. We've got a Datsun being worked on. Looks like we've got a Ford being worked on, a Civic being worked on. So Chris, tell us a little bit more about, what do the members get access to when they're like on this side of the garage?
Yeah, sure. On this side of the garage, you got the 2-post lift. We reserve an app called Setmore. The flat space if you want to do detail work. And then you can also use all of our community tools if you want to wash your car. Those are kept over here. You can go outside with it. So anything over here is free game for all the members. And we even have a restroom on the other side so you can get right back to your project.
So if they want to do like an indoor wash, they can kind of essentially do it right here.
Well, if they want to do just a wax or a shine, yeah, we can't really do a wash inside. We don't have any drain or anything like that. But yeah, that's something that they could wash outside and then dry it inside.
Okay. So we've got one car right here that's being worked on. So you want to tell us a little bit about the cars you're working on?
This is one of my two E30s. I store this one here usually. I haven't driven it in 4 months, just been out of town, and just upgraded the differential in here and about to go drive it, take it out for the weekend. And it's nice I can swap cars and just leave my other one parked here.
So you have like a membership technically for one car, but you can swap them anytime you want.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yep.
That's a great feature.
Anytime I want, which is great because I work long hours, so doesn't matter what time I show up or leave.
So have you ever got to come in here at 3 in the morning and work on your car because you just can't sleep, or?
Not quite that early, but well past like normal business hours at places, and just having a code to get in. I don't need somebody else here to keep the door open or not.
And your other BMW, if I'm correct, was it a 4-door?
Yeah.
Okay, so you got a 2-door and a 4. So what drew you to this car, this model?
So I've had this car 20 years.
Oh, wow.
This was my first car, and I It was my karate instructor's car, and I detailed it when I was 17, and he let me drive it.
So you are the Karate Kid.
Not anymore.
Okay.
Not anymore. But yeah, I drove it and absolutely fell in love with it. Bought it from him, and because of owning this, I've had like 15 of them now.
Wow. So you've had the original, and then you've had
This chassis. I've had 15 different ones.
wow.
The 2 doors, 4 doors, convertibles. I cut one up into a truck. So yeah,
Wow.
basically everything except the M3.
So being the Karate Kid, have you ever watched the Cobra Kai TV show?
A little bit.
Did you know that LaRusso's house is in Marietta?
I did not know that.
It is actually in Marietta, so not very far from here. So maybe we'll do a car show one day, and you can bring your car over there. Yeah.
Yep.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Come on over with me over here. So all these cars, the E30s and the Zs, you know, the hood goes up opposite than you normally would think it would, which is really cool. It got me thinking a little bit in regards to why. I imagine it's probably race-based, but I definitely need to research that. So you wouldn't see this normally if you weren't at E3. That's one of the great things. You can come through and see cars. It's like a rotating indoor car show. How awesome is that? He's got the crash dummy flags in there.
That's pretty funny.
That's great.
Yeah.
So this car is great too. It's a father-son group. They go out and race on the weekends and just have a ball at it. Really take care of it. It's a great bonding experience for them. They've been doing it for years.
Honda Civics are always a fun car to work on. A lot of, I remember even 20-something years ago, people wanted to fix up their Civic.
Yeah, this is kind of like the car that I grew up in high school. My buddy Pete had one just like this, and a lot of good times, right? You don't really see them that often, the mid-90s, late 90s. But man, they are really awesome. So
I remember a lot of my friends, especially girls, but they couldn't afford the BMW. They actually went kind of with the Civic because it had a similar body style, but nowhere near the same price point.
yeah, definitely. Lots of good times for sure in the mid-90s in these Hondas.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so we got something a little bit different over here. I'm not sure if you saw this car or not, but we got a couple drifters in here. So we have an E30 drift car over there. We have drift cars being built literally at this facility right now. Member Jeremiah came in, probably built this car as you see it in 6 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah, after hours, he's got a day job, came in, reserved the space, was working on that lift right there, got everything rolling on it, dialed in, and they're getting ready for their first drift in this vehicle pretty soon.
So this is like a Fast and Furious car.
Yes, sir.
And this is actually a
drifting.
Lexus.
Yeah, this is actually a Nissan vehicle, but yeah, same body style, looks like the Lexus.
So is that was it the 240?
240 SX, yeah.
240 SX, yep.
Not a lot left of it originally, but
I was
Jeremiah's done a lot of
yeah, I
modifications.
see some of the pieces that look more like the Lexus, but now you said it does look like a 240.
Yeah, he put a little wide body kit on it. The only thing you really can tell would be the headlights if you were, again, in that era of cars. And then him and his buddy, Kapil, they race together. So he's got Kapil's drift car on the other side. So it's nice, they can kind of share tools, share tires, etc.
That's cool.
But that's one thing that's great about here is that you see everything across the spectrum. So then right next to this drift car, you know, it doesn't really see streets. You have a classic FJ40, you know, beautiful.
Yeah, that is a beautiful vehicle.
So another great car, Roadrunner.
Yep.
Something you don't see every day. So our member had this car in high school, one very much like it, decided he wanted to get one back. And so he picked it up here in the last couple of years and has been storing with us.
Yeah, and I love orange. When I was in high school, a good friend of mine had a Cougar, and it was the orange color with the first shifter. Beautiful, beautiful car.
Yeah. Doesn't get any better than this. Got the Roadrunner graphics on the side and the front. The orange is very specific. I mean, you see this run down the road, you know it's something special. And just like you saw earlier, he said he had 15 E30s, so I kind of got the bug. He's like, man, you got to get your foot in the door. These things are easy to work on. I'll help you out. So I just recently picked up this red E30 myself. Don't know much about what to do about it, but I'm not worried worried about it because I have people lean on here that can help me out. I've been leaning on Spike with the E36 over there to try to look at some things in regards to what do we got to do for some brake upgrades, maybe do some muffler work. But other than that, I'm keeping it pretty much stock.
But that's probably one of the great things about owning this place is you get access to all that knowledge for people that specialize in specific cars.
Yeah.
So you get to see all the different variety of cars, but you know, people that love the E30, you're like, okay, I want to get me one and have that same type of thing.
Yeah, so that's where I'm at. And plus now we have a network of all these individuals that use vendors. We know which vendor to go to, so my life's so much easier reaching out to the niche market.
Right.
Say, hey, who do you use for paint? Who do you use for this? Yeah, so we have all the vendors, you know, from tires to detailing that can help you out. So you don't have to go do those Yelp reviews or what have you.
Yep.
These are real life reviews by your peers here. So you know you can trust them as a vendor. Yeah, so always great stories of all our members, right? So this is another father-son passion. It is, you know, focus on the 80s Porsche products and Land Rover products. So you'll come in one day and you'll see the 1990s Range Rover. The next day you'll come in and see a 912 or this car.
And I always love the 928. I mean, I almost wish they'd kind of bring that back.
Maybe they will. There's been some rumors of 944, 968, 928 popping out, so that would be great. Have the big hatch, kind of do a little throwback styling, but also keep on moving forward, right?
Yep. I agree. And a lot of dealerships are doing that.
They're definitely doing that. I mean, every car does have a story, right? And like as you go through here, we could spend all day long going through them, and we could bring in the members and hear their side of the story. I've only heard a small snippet of what makes them go and why they keep these cars, right? Like I know this car was recently just in their wedding. You know?
Wow.
Yeah, so how great is that? They drove this car out of the wedding and now here it sits. And that was a very special day that, you know, be memorialized.
So I remember when the Supra and Celica came out, they pretty much looked identical. But then as the years progressed, the Supra really became the higher end car. I don't even know if I think they still make some Supras. They started a new one like last year or so. Yeah. But the Celica's pretty much gone.
Pretty much gone, yeah, at least in the U.S. market. And it's kind of funny too, depending on where you grew up regionally, you would never see a Supra or maybe a BMW. And you would see all those other cars like you mentioned, all the Honda Civics and the Berettas and all these cool Grand Prix that you don't really see too much in Atlanta.
Yeah, a real good friend of mine. In fact, I actually helped him buy a house in Cherokee County recently. He's a Lexus Toyota guy, and his favorite car of all time is a Supra. So his goal would be to get something like this and soup it up. So, yeah. He actually works. He's one of the few people that works on that higher end Lexus car. I don't even know.
Oh, the LFA?
Yeah.
Yeah, the LFA. That's awesome.
You mechanics actually work specifically on that car. It's really cool. So here's another Toyota right here. So this would have a story. This Land Cruiser at all?
Yeah, I mean, you know, we all kind of run in our threads, right? We're all car guys here, or girls. But this guy here, this member, he's got different versions of Toyotas, different FJ. So he's got the 4-door FJ, and here's the 2-door, and he rotates them out here. We see him quite often. Other than that, I'm sure it definitely has a story. We should give him a buzz and see what that is. Yeah.
Never been much of a Dodge guy, but love the Challenger, especially the RT. I've heard that they've discontinued this car, and they're thinking about making an electric version. But I know LL Cool J drives one of these in CSI Los Angeles, and it's a beautiful, beautiful car. So if I were going to own a Dodge, this would definitely be it.
Yeah, definitely. But I heard that electric one's going to be killer. So
I did hear the same thing. Yeah. So I'm very interested to see how the electric Dodge Challenger competes with the electric Mustang. Because you got, the electric Mustang is the 4-door Mach-E or whatever. I personally do think they're going to make a electric muscle car at some point. Ford they like to throw out some crazy ideas sometimes. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But I'm interested to see what these guys come up with for electric cars.
Yeah, well, you know that if they come out with an electric car, it's going to be bang up, it's going to be fast, it's going to be it's going to be a bar setter really, because this car's been out for a long time, and the style, though it's a throwback and it was fresh, and today I'm still not sick of seeing it. Yep. And it's been out a very long time. The body stuff. So one of our members has multiple of these K cars. This is the AZ1. It's got gold wing doors that pop up. It has, back classic, 80s, 90s font all over it, pointing out every little detail that's special on the vehicle. It has the pass through, so when you go through the drive-through, you don't have to open up your gold wings. You can stick your arm out and grab your McDonald's.
That's awesome.
Yeah, how awesome is that?
I can't help but notice, like, from the back half of it, it actually looks like an MR2.
MR2, Ferrari, you know, it kind of looks like an F40 a little bit. You know, there's definitely...
They took the good pieces from a lot of cars and put it into one.
Yeah, it's excellent. There's the old Subaru, they had the little windows like that too. They're very similar, right? I think that's a 2008, so yeah, I mean, it's aged very well too. But yeah, it doesn't really matter what type of vehicle it really is. I mean, you can store anything here as long as you want to make sure that it's protected and out of the elements and you want that club feature. I mean, that's why we're all here, is because essentially we're looking at the storage options and there's not a lot of them. I mean, you can go to a big box storage facility and you roll the dice and the hours are limited. That's where I came from. That's how I found E3. And I would go pick up my car, my Jeep, and I would be boxed in by people moving in, moving out. You know, there'd be rodents, not a lot of attention to detail. We're here, you know, everyone's keeping an eye on your vehicles. Even if you just have a coolant leak, they're gonna let you know. They're gonna call Matt or I, and we'll call them and we'll let them know what's going on. Like I was mentioning earlier, you know, I just picked up a Scout that's generally the same as this, but a lot rustier and doesn't run. But this, looking at this car for a good, you know, 6 months, it just really caught my eye, right?
Yeah, I was about to say, there's very few flaws in this car also.
No, this car is beautiful. It's a great example of an early Scout. Yeah. Yeah, so that's cool. And then you got other stories like Matt, you know, he's got this NAS Defender, which there's only a handful of those that were made and brought over for North America specific. Left-hand drive, a lot of them what you see are, you know, right-hand drives that have come over from across the pond. Where this is actually truly made with a V8 for the United States in the 90s.
I definitely don't want to pass on Smokey and the Bandit.
Just walk right on by.
No, I can't do that. If Burt Reynolds hadn't passed away, I'd expect him to be sitting in the car right there. This is, again, one of my favorite cars of all time. My first car was almost a Trans Am, but my parents wouldn't let me get it. And it was even my money. And they were like, no, you're not getting the Trans Am. So, but it was a burgundy color. It didn't have the eagle on it. But I remember cranking that thing up. I was like, I gotta have this car. And keep in mind, I think it was like maybe $4,000 in 1987. I mean, I bet I could probably sell it for 35 or 40 right now, or maybe
up there for sure, yeah.
But yeah, it has the T-tops, classic black, eagle. I mean, man, this is a beautiful car.
It's beautiful, yeah. Somewhere Burt Reynolds signed in there allegedly.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, I haven't really looked more than just past the door, but if you look in there, you may be able to find it. And I think it's their aftermarket upgraded size rims too.
That's a beautiful car.
It's beautiful. So which one you like better, this one or that one?
Man, that's
Trans Am.
I mean, to be honest with you, I mean, just because of the movie, I like that one. But at the same time,
look at the color on this.
I mean, blue. I love the eagle on that one. I love the headlights on this one. I mean, beautiful.
Yeah, you get to see all of the curves.
Yeah. But
still, it's Americana. I mean, it's unbelievable, right?
Yep. Hey, let's put it this way. I wouldn't turn down either one of them.
Definitely not, right? Jose's car here, they go hit Taco Tuesday, him and his wife. Doesn't matter, as long as it's not raining out, they'll go ahead and roll out. And it's just beautiful. You know, this one came from Virginia, and he's had it for quite some time, and it's not on a tender. He just cranks it every week, and it's good to go, runs out, comes on back in, and parks it. You know?
That's the 3 T's, Taco Tuesday and a Thunderbird.
Taco Tuesday and a Thunderbird. You got to make that T stronger, I guess. But yeah, I mean, this era, this model right here, I mean, it's literally people come in, it's like, is that the Batmobile? I mean, it's just amazing, right? It's heavy looking, slab of a car. The interior is killer. Top's been up, I think I've seen it up one time. But all the little things, I mean, the turn indicators, I mean, all the stuff that you don't see in today's cars is here. But it's a huge car, and it's got one side view mirror. But I guess if you have the top down, you can just use your head, right? Just swivel on it.
But I'm also sure there's a pretty nice sized engine under that hood too.
Oh yeah,
Thunderbirds are known to be really fast cars. I mean, they're classy looking, but they're also really fast.
Yeah, I mean, this one's a beautiful example of a Thunderbird.
Yeah.
And then you got an avocado over here, green Maverick. Same thing, you know, the member just really wanted to find this Maverick and ended up finding it, I think in like Augusta, and brought it back. He's a big Ford guy. And just same thing, just really put some TLC into it, loves it. It's almost green on green on green on green.
I was about to say, it's got original seats in there.
Original everything, yeah. I mean, the only thing that's not green is the chrome work, the bright work, and then the vinyl.
That is such a cool car.
Isn't that awesome?
Yeah, that's one of those that when you kind of see it in a video or like on the paper, like, but then you get here and you look at it, it's like,
something special.
I think I could actually own one of those and enjoy it.
Yeah, something special for sure. I think he said he did some special work in regards to the bumpers and bringing them in, because I think at that time frame, you know, the regulations had them really bumped out, and then he brought them in, and that kind of gives it that cleaner look. Yeah, it's wild. We don't just keep cars here. You know, this is a full-on bar that our member has, and then they can take out to events. And then you got the big GMC right here.
I bet that's worth a pretty penny also. You don't see many of the GMC Jimmys anymore.
No, I mean, growing up where I did, you saw a lot of these when I was a kid, in the 80s and 90s, but yeah, you don't see them anymore, especially this clean.
Yeah, that looks just a beautiful car.
Beautiful. And then some of the other cool things that we have is, you know, our members, we're one of the few places that can actually fit Sprinter vans in because of the height. We made sure that when we're looking for buildings throughout Atlanta that we had that height, because our members, you know, are car guys, car girls. They want to be able to make sure that their Rebels or Sprinter vans are safe.
Right.
And it's huge. I mean, this one here just squeaks in, like millimeters squeaks in.
Oh, wow.
But, you know, you can go, he goes off the grid on that. He's got solar panels. He has, you know, all the internet options. And he can just go out and do his work, do some awesome hiking, and not miss a beat.
I mean, that's a great, like, camping, outdoorsy vehicle right there.
Everything, it's amazing. 4x4, you know, has pop outs. And then on the other end of the spectrum, you have, you know, this is pure on luxury right here. But we made sure to have the spaces have enough width on them, enough length on them in order for them to come into the building and be able to be safe when they're not in use.
Yeah, definitely don't want to miss out on the Land Rover, beautiful color. And then the, look at this Rolls Royce. It looks like the steering wheel's on the wrong side.
Yeah, well, it's on the right side, literally. And on the right side, I mean, look.
I definitely set you up for that.
Yeah, thank you very much. But yeah, so, I mean, it's a beautiful car, right? I mean, you really don't see too many of the Cornishes with the hardtop. You usually see just convertibles, so it's kind of rare in that aspect. But yeah, just an awesome car. It's great to see that it's out and about and being seen in regards to not just being locked up in a garage with the door shut.
Now, does he go out and take this for a ride?
I've seen it go out a couple times. Yeah, for sure. But it's an amazing car. I mean, these things that you just walk around and look at all of the design and the precision. I mean, look, there's little emblems within the lights.
Yep.
It's insane. I mean, I think this is like a 97. And it's kind of got that flat look, but the depth is really, really just on point. And it fits well for the car.
See, I actually, I'd love like the newer Broncos that have that color. That would pop.
Yeah, this would be
I know
great.
they do have a green.
They have an eruption green, yeah. They do, but this is what you're looking for. I mean, this is beautiful. I mean, gosh, it doesn't get much better than that.
When you were growing up, what was your dream car? What was the car that you wanted growing up, and have you actually been able to purchase it or have it?
You know, yeah, I've always been a car person, right? And I grew up in Michigan City, Indiana, quite cold, right off of Lake Michigan. Didn't see a lot of these cars that are even in here, right? You know, you saw a lot of the Hondas, a lot of the Plymouths, all that sort of, the Fords. So yeah, I mean, I kind of looked at like in the late 80s, 911 Cabriolet.
Yep.
And I had the opportunity to buy one, and I could have afforded it, but barely. And I think about that car every day. It was like kind of a miscatch. It was an 83 911 white Cabrio. But I just recently went out to Santa Monica with my wife. We rented a red one on Turo. It didn't disappoint.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Like that year model, or was it a newer one, I'm assuming?
Same body style.
Okay.
Yeah, it was we rented an 85, and that was an 83. Didn't have the whale tail, but man, it was awesome. So,
all right, so with you being kind of more of the Jeep guy, and told me earlier you had a Bronco. Why did you decide to get the Bronco, and what's the differences that you've noticed?
Yeah, I mean, well, my Jeep, right now I have a 98 Sahara that's over there. The Bronco, I mean, gosh, they hit a home run. The 2021 Bronco that I have is like driving, I mean, I would almost say it's almost driving like a luxury vehicle, almost European style between the seats, the driving, acceleration, right? Because like on these older Jeeps, you can't even hit 80 miles an hour without like the wheel wobbling and stuff falling off.
Yep.
I mean, that's limited at 101, and it still has a lot of punch.
Yeah.
So they did a great job. I haven't driven a newer Wrangler, but they're definitely gonna evolve that in. Because that was always the thing, right? With the Wranglers, like you can't change too much or everybody gets mad, just like the Corvettes.
Yep.
But then you take this leap forward, and it's like, oh gosh, we should have done that 5 years ago.
Yep.
So like the 97 TJ was where I got into it. I was in high school, talked my parents into buying one. 95 was a YJ year. They skipped 96. 97 was awesome. It was stripped down, no AC, no, it had 4-cylinder manual, but it was awesome. I lived in Northwest Indiana, put the top down and drive.
Yep.
You can't do that in Atlanta. I did have a 2000 in Atlanta hardtop, solar yellow. Man, talk about a hot ride.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if somebody wanted to, reserve a spot in here, what's the process? What should they expect?
Yeah, so the process is really simple. You can go on to e3storage.com, e3marietta@gmail.com you can email us direct. Either Matt or I will reach out back, usually in 24 hours or less. We'll schedule a time. This is a discreet location, so we don't give out the address to anyone that inquires.
Right.
We have to do a little bit of back and forth and talk to them and see what's going on. We're part of the interview process. After that, you come in, we talk about what spaces are available and what your needs are. And then we signed a DocuSign contract that we've had in place for quite some time. And then we do a member orientation, and then you're on your own. I mean, so like was mentioned earlier, there's not an attendant or anyone you got to wait for to come show up at work at 9 a.m. 24/7. So once you're enrolled, you have access to do anything you want here, within reason, of course, 24/7.
Right. Another great idea is you got just from a real estate standpoint, the people that are downsizing that have those classic cars that, again, maybe they can't bring to that 2-car garage, whatever, and they have cars they want to work on. So
Yeah.
a very good friend of mine has a 1954, or had one, had to sell it because he downsized and didn't know about a place like this. So it's great knowing about a place like this. So if I run into somebody who's like, hey, I've got an older car, I don't want to sell it, well, then don't. I got a perfect place for you.
Or if you have that dream car, you finally save up enough cash to buy that new vehicle, but you don't have a place to put it, and you don't want to give up your daily driver or your spouse's daily driver.
Yeah.
You can bring it over here. You can make everything work, do that rotation.
So are you saying you can get a car, not tell your spouse, and just store it here?
That's not what I said, but hey, whatever you decide to do, that's fine. But no, I'm saying that will make that part of that relationship that much easier. But yeah, so no, definitely not. But don't do that. Don't come see me if you do that. Then you're on your own. But I'll help you wash your car next time I see you.
They always find out, though.
Always find out. Yeah, as long as it's your vehicle and not someone else's vehicle or one that you found the keys
There you go.
laying around.
Yeah, no stealing and
No,
storing.
there's no
No stealing and
stealing.
storing. Hide from your spouse, but don't steal and
You
store.
got to find somewhere else for that.
Well, Chris, we appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for the
Nice
tour.
meeting you, definitely.
And if you guys, you need any kind of information on, E3 Storage Marietta, reach out to myself, reach out to Chris. We'll definitely, give you guys some information on it. But beautiful cars here, very well taken care of. It really is a community. There's a place outside you can wash your car. So the indoor and outdoor, but obviously you're going to probably want to put most of your cars indoor. But this is a great place, great location. But thank you again. I appreciate it.